Hey guys, hope y'all are doing great today. Welcome to this week's Food Forest Tours. This one will have 2 weeks worth this week. Didn't get to it last week with Mother's Day and being out of town a little bit. So this one will be 2 weeks worth of stuff growing. So let's dive on in. Got the apples on the very end down there and the pears and the rest of this bed. And everything looks like it's doing really well. You can see the vegetation is very thick in this bed, so lots of polyculture going on. I'm gonna probably go through either today or tomorrow and just kind of pull those the taller stuff off of the trees, just because some of them are still short. Some of them you can see are really tall. They're already above it, so that's really ideal. But some of the other ones didn't get off to as big of a start, so kind of just pull the other plants up, but just kind of push them down a little bit into the aisles kind of in between the trees, so that the trees can the ones that are shorter will have some sunlight so they can boost up and get big like that. The apples are just growing like crazy. That's what all the tall things are right here. They are just loving it. Really growing fast. Got a lot of grapes starting to flower. Different phases. You can see that one kind of still has some of the pieces of the flowers on there. I think this one's actually already, yep, this one already has the flowers are finished on most of these. So these are actually the baby grapes that are forming from that. So they're looking really good. You can see the difference on these grapes starting to form. This is the one we saw right then previously was the first one in this first row, and there's a little bug falling off of there. But that first grape is a yellow grape, so you can see it didn't have any type of blush or anything. This one's actually already starting to get a pink blush on it. This one is a deep purple grape, so kind of interesting how they already start to color up a little bit on there. Here on the muscadine, they are just really covered in grapes. It's just like a solid wall of muscadines. Looking really good. Looking really forward to trying some of them soon. Blueberries on some of these bushes are getting really big. We hadn't had a rain in a while, so I'm betting that after we get a good rain, these plants will be right ready to start pumping out some blueberries soon, I would guess. These are the mulberry grafts. You can see on the very tip of that stick right there, that's a mulberry graft sticking up. It does have a little shoot starting to come up, so at least that one may have survived. This one right here is coming up probably from the rootstock, but it's coming back, so at least I'll get a second chance on that one. And it looks like most of the other ones are coming up at least from the rootstock. Maybe one or two might have a chance, it looks like, to possibly come out from the main variety, so it should be interesting how it turns out. Glad I'll have at least one that made it. Grape cuttings are looking really good. Starting to put on some new growth. You can see the new young leaves starting to come out on a lot of these. Starting to get growing really good. Figs and pomegranates still doing well. Figs are some of them are really starting to put on a lot of growth, and same thing with the pomegranates too. And the apple rootstock is just going crazy. It is just taking off. Tons and tons of different types and different sizes. Really cool. And the peach tree right up front here is doing really good too. It's got some shoots coming off from the bottom, you can see. The top looks super healthy, growing really fast. Got the other peach seedlings over here. They're looking good. I'm probably gonna transplant these over to the actual food forest in between some, just to let them fill in. Feel like it'll give them some more room, help them do better, and also go ahead and get them in their permanent spot so they can go there from then on and hopefully thrive. Maybe even make some peaches in about, not next year, but maybe the year after. First peach tree. It has shed almost all of its peaches this year. It dropped another peach, that was totally healthy, had, maybe just one tiny spot of damage, if anything. And so I feel like the trees, decided to put growth into itself this year instead of supporting a crop, since it didn't have very many on here anyways. And this bottom section though is really filling out. Got a foot of growth or more in a lot of these branches on here, so that's really good to see. The bottom, the grapevine, is kind of filling in slowly but surely. Seems like these vines, the muscadines, can take about a year to get adjusted and then start to really put out some growth. So hopefully it'll start getting going too, especially once this hotter weather comes in, which it'll enjoy. The bottom down here has got the peas are just taking off. It's like over 90 degrees today, and they're just pumping out. So or pumping growth out, and so they've got some nice growth. They're about 2.5 feet tall or so, and I didn't do anything to these but just toss the seeds in and let them go. Same thing with the lettuce down here. It is starting to get going. I should have planted it earlier, but just had so many things going on that I didn't get around to it and kind of forgot. But it's still, even due to my negligence, it's still doing good, so glad to see all that. This peach tree is just putting out a ton of growth on it. Some of these branches are pushing 2 feet already. Growing really good. This is the one we cut the rootstock branches off the bottom down there. And it is just really doing well, putting off lots of main shoots. Lots of side shoots here, so looking really, really good and healthy. Hopefully I'll have some peaches on this one next year. It had a ton of flowers, but I took all the flowers off, and really glad I did, and it is just pumping growth. Down at the bottom of this tree, still got some peas down there, doing good. I think this is one I had accidentally skipped over with planting the lettuce, so I don't think it has lettuce or maybe much of anything else, but I think the peas are sure doing good down there, so that's good. We're here to the second larger peach tree. A lot of these peaches are doing really good. That one's almost completely undamaged. Looking really nice. Some up here have been damaged a little bit more. That one over there, kind of on the left right there at the bottom left, is really pretty. Got a nice red blush and looks really good. You can see right here some of the peaches have fallen off, laying on the ground. So it has dropped some, but still holding on to quite a few on this tree. Seedling peach tree's doing good. Starting to really get some green growth going on, so that's really good. It's probably starting to really enjoy this hotter weather, so hopefully it'll just keep doing better and better. First cherry's looking good. Got lots of new growth coming out. About 8 inches of growth or more in most places, some about a foot, so that's really good to see. Lots of ladybugs on this tree, so that's really nice to see also. The growth looks really, really green and healthy so far. Blackberry down at the bottom of this tree is looking good. Starting to put on some nice new growth right there, some little leaves coming up and getting some height on it. Pawpaw tree's looking really good and healthy. Really starting to look big this year, really filling out. Didn't hang on to any fruit, but looking really, really good and healthy. Lots of big healthy branches. And the shoot down here has put on a foot of growth already. Looking really good. Thanks for tuning in to part 1 of this week's Food Forest Tour. I'll see you in part 2. Bye guys.